The idea of gaining superpowers is something that many people dream about. The question is, are these powers worth the price? There are some people who have gained real superpowers after strange events happen to them. These people usually end up with a mental disorder, or they try to find themselves in dangerous situations all the time. In this quick YouTube video, you will learn about such people who gained real superpowers after strange events. Tony Chicoria. Tony, a surgeon, was struck by lightning and died briefly. He said, "It was like a dam had burst. Every cell in my body had become energized, and I felt totally focused and completely at ease." I can't really tell if he is super happy about the event or not, but I would say that this guy is very interesting as he gained real superpowers after such strange incidents. He traveled miles in search of a piano and started to play music like Mozart and Bach. And he also went back to his surgeon life. It seems that this guy has found himself in many situations or mental disorders, but then again, I guess he is happy with what he has today. Oliver, a neurologist, says Tony underwent a rewiring. Franco Magnani. Franco had not gone home for almost 30 years, but by tapping into his memory, he was able to paint nearly identical scenes of his hometown. He says, "I try to paint what I see and at the same time what I feel." This guy also has strange powers as he can memorize almost everything after seeing it once or twice. It's like a photographic memory, but a more enhanced version of that. Another interesting thing is he does not remember anything from his past, even though some say that he went to school. But it is possible that after the strange incident of being struck by lightning, his memory was affected, so he tried to paint what he sees and feels. It seems like this guy had a rough past with family or something, but now I guess everything is all right for him. Stephen Larner. It is believed that after a bus crash in Italy, Stephen ran 7 miles to get help. This guy had a terrible accident, but he still managed to survive and find some strength from somewhere to run all the way back home for help. People have no idea how he did it, but it still seems amazing as they could not even imagine such pain. And even though he was in a coma for a while, his brain somehow managed to fix or rewire itself. Even doctors were surprised by the results, but it appears that this guy had some superpowers before the accident as well. It seems like Stephen had some problems with mood swings and equilibrium issues, but after the accident, everything was fixed. Cameron McCauley, the man who can feel himself aging. Bizarrely, Cameron can feel his body age before the rest of the world, so he knows when he's getting old or about to get sick. He says, "I don't really like growing older. It comes with experience, I guess, but it also comes with pain." This guy was lucky enough to experience what it feels like to be old before he actually gets there. But if you ask me, I would rather not feel my body aging at all. But still, it is really amazing that he can tell when he is getting sick or about to get older. On the other hand, his doctors are sure that the problem is in his brain, as he has experienced some kind of small stroke or something. However, it seems like this guy had problems with mood swings and equilibrium issues before the accident also. But now he says that he does not really like growing older, so I guess everything is all right for him. And there are many scientists who say it is possible that each person has some superpowers which they can develop if something happens to them. So maybe everyone should stay at home after strange events and wait for superpowers instead of going outside like crazy people. Tommy McHugh. Tommy was hit by a car while cycling in 1996, which made him lose his left leg. But he says that there are some benefits to this accident. For example, traveling is way more fun now, especially when you have lost one of your legs. And instead of being angry at the person who hit him, he just laughs about the whole situation now. And even though he was in a coma for a while, his brain somehow managed to fix or rewire itself. Even doctors were surprised by the results. But it appears that this guy had some superpowers before the accident as well. Orlando Serrell. Orlando was hit by a baseball at the age of 10, which caused brain damage and made him unable to recall anything from his past, even though he went to school. He could only remember the things that happened after the accident and nothing else. And since then, strange things started happening to Orlando, and he gained superpowers. One of the most interesting of his superpowers is being immune to changes in temperature. He can freeze things with just a touch. He instantly becomes cold and cannot feel pain anymore, as his brain has rewired itself so it can block out pain signals. Even though there are a lot of skeptics about this story, scientists say that each person has some superpowers, which they can develop if something happens to them. Alonzo Clemens. Alonzo is able to sculpt things with his hands. He was born without the part of the brain that controls artistic abilities, but this did not stop him from being an amazing artist. He can sculpt objects just by feeling them and touching them. This guy has a gift which he loves to share with everyone who cares to listen. Leslie Lemke. Leslie was born blind and deaf, but when he was 3 years old, his mother put a piano in front of him and told him to touch it. He began playing the piano flawlessly, even though he had never seen one before and did not know what all those knobs and keys were for. And at the age of 6, he gave his first public performance. He has never had any lessons in piano, but once he started playing, the music was just flowing out of him. Robert Van Winkle, also known as Vanilla Ice. Can you imagine how cool it would be to have a superpower that would allow you to make ice cubes at home? I bet there are not many people who would say no to that. But Robert Van Winkle has this superpower, and even though he probably does not need it, he decided to share it with the world. He can make ice cubes at home without using any kind of electricity or freezer, which is really amazing. Jedediah Buxton. Jedediah is said to be the original counting sheep guy. He was also born without being able to hear or speak, but he managed to become an accountant at a very young age. He would walk around touching different things with his feet and come up with random numbers when he touched them. And when there was enough money in his bank account, he would stop. Rory Curtis. Rory was in a coma for 6 weeks after he had a car accident, and when he woke up, weird things started happening to him. For example, doctors were amazed by his brainwaves that looked like they came from someone who was awake instead of asleep. And the mind of this guy has become so powerful that he can actually control some of the body functions of his friends. For example, he can control their hands and make them move in a certain way that is really creepy. Jason Paget. Jason is an artist who was not able to draw anything correctly before the incident, and since then, he gained superpowers and became an amazing sketcher of fractals. Even though he does not know what triggered this change in his brain, scientists say that maybe it was his lack of sleep that made him extra smart overnight. Stephen Wiltshire. Stephen was diagnosed as autistic when he was 3 years old, and it is said that the artist's mind flourished in him because of people around him encouraging Stephen to draw. When he was 5, he started drawing buildings, even though he had never actually seen them in real life. But when he turned 16, Stephen went through eye surgery, which gave him the ability to see things the way most people do. And since then, his art has become even better. Currently, Stephen lives with his family in North London and draws artworks for exhibitions and other purposes. Abigail Gray. Abigail was born with cerebral palsy, but thanks to her family's support, she has become a very successful woman. She graduated from the University of Kent at Canterbury, where she studied English literature. The doctors who supported Abigail said that the only reason she managed to do this was because of her superpowers. Abigail can remember everything she reads, watches, or hears, even if it happened a long time ago. And these abilities helped her a lot when she went through rehabilitation at school and university. She would simply read books about journalism. With this, we have come to the end of our video. Thanks for watching, and please make sure to subscribe to our channel for more entertaining videos. We'll catch you on the next one.